Hi, and thanks for tuning in to find out what the best instant ramen noodles are in my part of the world. So I've got 8 different kinds, 8 being a lucky number in Japanese culture and 8 being what I found in supermarkets that are chicken flavor and cooked for about the same amount of time. Supposedly the number 8 written out in Japanese looks like a fan, and a fan is good luck. Fans used to be used by only the wealthy, and so that means you're prosperous. Therefore, an 8 is good luck. Okay, so what I've got here is, this is the only one that cooks a little longer, so somehow I'm going to have to figure out a way to cook this without knowing what it is. What I've done is created sleeves for all of them, so I won't be able to know what brand I'm eating when I'm testing them, and that way I should be able to give an unbiased review without thinking, okay, well, this was the most expensive, it must be the best. Okay, so this is the only one that cooks in 5 minutes versus 3 for all the others, and I will go through the prices of what I paid for these. So this one is plant-based, and it's called Chef Wu brand, and I paid $2.49 for this. I think that's one of the pricier ones. Okay, and then the other famous brand name is Sapporo Ichiban, which is my favorite brand of instant noodles in the original flavor. There's something about the original flavor that is so good. And I paid $1.97 for this. Okay, great value from Walmart. I paid 77 cents. This brand, I've never heard of. Noishim, I think is how you pronounce it. And I paid $1.89 for this one. This is a no-name brand that we have in Canada that claims it tastes as good as any brand name, so we will find out if I even choose this one. This I paid $1.47, so it's not that cheap either. Here's another supermarket brand from a grocery chain in Canada called Sobeys, and I paid $1.29 for that. And Mr. Noodles is a huge brand in Canada. I don't know if you have them in the States. I paid 97 cents for this one. And last but not least, this is a brand called Bowlful. I got it at the dollar store, Dollarama, and paid 63 cents for it. Okay, so I'm going to try all 8 of these and just find out which one tastes the best. Hopefully that'll help you when you're going into the cup of ramen noodles aisle and you can't decide. I'm really hoping this isn't the way Nicky Avocado or whatever his name is started. If you've ever seen any of his videos, he does major noodle mukbangs. Maybe that's how he started. Okay, I'm going to go cook these now and do the 3-minute time limit on them, except that one. Okay, so I'll be back in a flash. Okay, soup is on. This is kind of ridiculous. We have 8 different soups, and I was really expecting most of them to look alike, but actually every one of them looks different. There's maybe 3 that are similar. This one, and this one, but all the rest look totally different. I have no idea which brand is which because I've covered up the labels. As you can see, let's give these a try. Okay, let's start with the first one. Said to give them a good stir, which I did already, but I'll do it again. And as you can see, I'm using a fork. I'm not going to be all fancy and use chopsticks with these because they can be quite messy. Okay, and I don't think I'll be slurping, but you never know. Okay, my first reaction is it's not overly salty. I was expecting, and I am expecting all of them to be super salty, but it doesn't seem to be that way. So this one has little chunks of vegetables, like it's got pieces of corn. I don't know if you can see it. Little tiny pieces of corn and little microscopic pieces of carrot. The noodles are good. They're the right consistency. They're kind of flat, but they're really thin. Okay, let's try the broth. Okay, so this one is not bad at all. Right now it's number 1. Of course, it's the only one I've tried. Okay, next is this one. It has a ton of corn in it. I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of corn. Okay, let's try it. The noodles are very similar to the first one I just had. Okay, this is my new favorite. The noodles have a really good consistency, and with all that corn, kind of a nice treat. The flavor is way stronger than the first one. I think it is saltier. Oh yeah. Okay, it's kind of burning my throat for some reason. I'm gonna go get water. Okay, yeah, this one is extremely powerful tasting. It's good, but yeah, that broth holy felt like acid going down my throat. I do love the noodles. Okay, I'm gonna move this up to my #1 spot. It is better than that first one. Okay, next we have this one. The noodles look like they've dried out. Okay, and this one has, I don't know if it's supposed to be chicken. See that on top? I think it's maybe supposed to be chicken. I don't mind that. I prefer a cup of noodles over a cup of broth. But wow, yeah, if that's chicken, maybe it's beans. No, I think it's supposed to be chicken. Okay, that almost looks too realistic. When it looks like dark chicken meat. Hey, let's try it. It's not bad, but it's not outstanding. To try this and just see what it's supposed to be. I think that is chicken, and I think it is dark meat. Okay, let's try the broth. Yeah, not a whole lot of flavor. I'm surprised because it looks like it's trying so hard to be authentic. Sadly, no, it's not outstanding. Okay, that's gonna go into my bottom 4 for sure. Okay, up next we have this. This is one that looks very much like the first one I tried. So it could be 3 different brands, but all made by the same company. Although this one has a lot of carrot in it. It smells good. I don't hate this one. The broth is good. I see 2 little kernels of corn in it. I'll put it in my top 4 for now. Okay, let's try this one. This is the third that looked alike. But now the difference in this one is it has peas in it, whereas that one I just had, I didn't see a single pea. So this one has a real kind of cardboard taste to it. Oh, coincidentally, as I was getting ready to do this video, I saw a news story that has just come out about instant noodles, ramen noodles especially, I guess, having some kind of cancer-causing ingredient in them. Now, I guess they're thinking of banning them in Europe, banning that ingredient, whereas the US has said they don't think it's that big a deal. So, but I'm obviously eating enough here to do some kind of damage. I'm probably going to be all puffed up tomorrow from all the sodium. But yeah, okay, I'm sorry, this one's not even worth eating. Okay, we have yet another. I think I've probably eaten the equivalent of a full cup already. I will have leftovers. Maybe I'll try to cook up some kind of recipe with them. Okay, let's try this. These noodles seem way spongier. And they are. I almost taste a bit of curry. I do like the consistency of the noodles in this one. Let's try the broth. It's almost sweet, which I'm never a fan of. I'll put that in the bottom 4. So now I have the bottom 4. Okay, I am getting thirsty. Thirstier as I'm going, so that might not be a good sign. Okay, this is the darkest of the lot. Oh, and it's got some a beautiful amount of vegetables in it. I don't think you can see it, but I have to take my word for it. Wow, looks very good. Yeah, it looks very good. Lots of veggies, and the noodles feel chewy already. Wow, it would be impossible not to get vegetables in every bite. It even has red pepper in it by the looks of it. It does, but I don't really taste red pepper. Okay, I like the noodles. They're kind of chewy. Let's try the broth. The broth is really good. Fortunately, I don't love the consistency of these noodles. I thought I would, but for some reason, when you bite into them, they break apart in little shards, sort of. Yeah, I'm not crazy about the way these noodles chew, but I'll put them in my top 4 because it does have more flavor than most. Okay, and the last one we have here, it's got kind of a golden hue to it. There's a ton of noodles in this cup, it feels like. Holy, this is probably the most generous cup I've seen. Oh yeah, there's a ton of noodles in here. And it's got a very good flavor. Let's try the broth. Yeah, it's good. I don't know why it feels like there's way more noodles in this than the other ones. It looks like there's little tiny bits of celery. Isn't that cute? Or maybe it's green onion. Yeah, it's maybe green onion. Okay, this one's quickly becoming my favorite. And I measured, or I checked the weight of all of them. They were all anywhere from 64 to 65 grams, so it must be dry, but this one, as it cooked, I guess, absorbed a lot of water in the noodles and filled the cup. This one is definitely a contender for the best. Okay, let's try the other top picks I had. Okay, there was this one. Remember what I said about it, but oh, this is the one that had all the corn in it. Yeah, can't get a bite without getting corn. Okay, yeah, I remember this one now. It's the one that burnt my throat with acid. Let's try the broth again. Holy, why does it do that? Tastes good, but I wouldn't recommend, like it tastes really good, but I wouldn't recommend drinking the broth. Just eat the noodles. Okay, that's number 1 and number 2. Let's find number 3. This is the one that was dark. Yeah, it is. So yeah, this is the one that might have had the weird textured noodles. It's too bad on this one. It would have been good if the noodles didn't have that weirdness to them. Like they have no bounce. They just sort of crumble, or they don't really mush. It's very hard to explain. Okay, and this was another in my top 4. This is one I think has curry in it. Okay, so I'm gonna take these dark ones out just because the flavor is great, but the consistency of the noodles just is not cutting it. It's the one that sort of crumble in your mouth. So that one's going. So it's between the 3. This one, the noodles are flatter, almost like miniature linguine. I do like the flavor. Okay, this is one that seems to be super value for the price, although it might have been the most expensive, I don't know, but so it feels heavy. Okay, for value, I'm gonna say this one is number 1. For taste, I'm going to say this one is number 1 for flavor, but not for the broth. And this one I'm going to say is number 1 for flavor and consistency of the noodles. So let's see what I chose. Oh my God, are you serious? Okay, this is the No Name brand. Wow. Oh, I'm very surprised. And what did I pay for it? $1.49. So yes, very well worth $1.49. Okay, this is one I love the flavor, except the broth was like lethal. And it is, Puro Ichiban. Yeah, I love their original flavor. That's probably why I'm loving, like when I hold it up to my face and start to put it to my mouth, I can taste that very familiar taste of the original. This one is good and it is $1.97, so you are paying more, but it's a winner. And last in my top 3, oh, this is the one that had way more noodles than you would expect. So great value for that. And it is, Mr. Noodle. And wow, this was 97 cents. If you're flat broke, this is the way to go. Like you're going to get your money's worth just in noodles. It should fill you up. So yeah, if you're on a tight budget, I would recommend this one. And of course, all of these, or whatever ones come in the cook it yourself version, would be way cheaper. But if you're on the go and need something in a hurry, this would be the way to go, and I would say this is your best value. Okay, this was in my top 4. Didn't make it to number 3. It was the one that was darker than the rest and had the weird noodles. I'm really starting to hate those noodles. And it is Chef Wu. Okay, so this is plant-based, so maybe that's why the noodles taste kind of weird. It is too bad because the flavors are good, and it supposedly tastes like roasted chicken. Okay, and speaking of chicken, let's find out what that one was that had chunks of chicken in it. Okay, it's this one. Little bits of chicken. Oh, this is the brand I've never heard of, the Norshim. This was just kind of meh. This is one that tastes like cardboard. It is a supermarket brand here in Canada. Ugh, my friends in the States, you are not missing anything with this one. Okay, this one. This does have a real roast chicken or a chicken scent to it. Okay, yeah, the flavor is not bad at all. It's actually pretty good. I'm not crazy about the noodles. They're more linguine-like instead of rounded, tubular. And it is, okay, it's great value. The flavor is really good, spot on. If it wasn't for the noodles, I would have ranked this higher. And last but not least, I can't remember who's missing now. Holy, this does look a lot like the one I just had from Walmart. Very similar in flavor, and the noodles are identical. And it is, oh wow, it's the dollar store one. And it cost a grand total of 63 cents, so the cheapest one. For the money, it's pretty good. Okay, well, so yeah, I think I've done enough damage to my sodium levels today. If you've tried any of these, what did you think? Let me know. Or if you agree or disagree with my picks, let me know that too. And remember, if you like this video, please subscribe. That's it. That's the deal with ramen chicken flavored instant noodles in a cup.